Hello again and welcome to what is going to be the final episode of this series of my playthrough of XCOM The Long War. I had recorded this once already, but for some reason that video became corrupted. I'm not quite sure why. So anyway, basically I shall actually keep this a bit briefer than I was the first time. Long War. Thoughts on the mod are that it's a massive improvement over the base game. The changing of the classes from 4 up to 8 and giving all the classes 3 options when levelling each rather than 2 gives you so much more variety in build orders. It really is a huge improvement. Now, as far as my choices when playing, I think I've made some mistakes here. I think going for snapshot on my snipers. Initially I wanted it because I love the idea to move and fire, but if that's necessary you can always equip the marksman style rifles, and of course it does mean you can't get disabling shot, which is so powerful against cyberdiscs, mechtoids and the like. Medics, I think I built most of those badly as well, to be honest with you. I went with the what's it called, ready for anything opportunist build. I don't think that's as good as going smoke grenade and then dense smoke or combat drugs. I think that would be much more useful. It'd even be tempting to take smoke and mirrors. It does remove the revive, which is a bit dodgy. And making medics into my officers, again, it's another change with Long War. The use of officers rather than just as an actual thing, rather than just using the medal system, and officers being fairly irrelevant. My officers not being able to be psychic makes my choice of medics as officers a terrible idea, because medics generally get much higher will than almost any class. In fact, I think assaults are the only ones that can possibly get higher will, and that's only if you take all of their will boosting abilities, which I haven't, because I've gone for movement and damage and multi-shots instead. But yeah, I think that aspect of it, the actual character customization, building your classes, is definitely far better than the base game. The base building side of it, again, I made a lot of mistakes here. That's been pissing me off the entire game. The fact I had a Steam thing there where I wanted to put my nice little 3x2 block of satellite uplinks and nexuses. I mean, I could have built them that way and then demolished that, but that being there has really been bugging me the entire game. But yeah, the base building obviously hasn't changed vastly. I mean, the fact that you get scientists and engineers from council requests rather than building workshops and labs is an interesting change. I wouldn't say that's better or worse really, but to be fair, there's not much the mod makers could really have done about that. The research, again, I fucked up my research massively by not building labs early enough, and maybe didn't necessarily choose the correct order to research things in. I think if I were to, well, when I do play the game again, I'm definitely going to start with biology, maybe even go for armour before lasers. I don't know, that's a tricky one. Definitely want to get genetics, get my gene mods up and running much earlier. And mechs, oh my god, was it the 28th of September before I got my first mech? That just seems really slow. I know everything's slower in the Long War than the base XCOM 2012, but still, there's a very long delay. Same thing getting Gauss weapons up and running. It's really hurting me, the lack of damage. Especially noticeable on like the XCOM missions, where you have 14 of them, and they've all got 10-15 hit points. Just cannot put the damage out there. Although I think again some of my soldier builds may be partially responsible for the difficulties there. Not the assault. The assaults are fucking amazing. They really are. They carry the team in those exalt missions. Air game wise, I'm doing reasonably. However, you know, done the best I could, not really knowing too much about it. Laser cannon's clearly awesome. I think I did that fairly competently. But the biggest issue I'm having is cash and resources. Specifically things like, I did pretty well on the Illyrium and the weapon fragments. Been burning through Meld, doing those gene mods and mech troopers, burning through the alloys, making Gauss weaponry. So I think it is alright. I left it far too late to be doing these captures. Really far too late. I should have been doing that months earlier than I actually did. They need selling actually. But yeah, didn't do too badly resource-wise. But yeah, I think this is the biggest mistake I made in the entire game, was starting with Russia.
Satellite uplink facilities at maximum capacity.
See,
Additional uplink required.
cheers, love. Yeah, in the base game, satellite uplinks are vitally important to rush satellites over the entire... Okay, I'm going to have to back out of that screen so I don't hear Bradford. Be quiet. Actually, I will go to Foundry because I'm about to talk about that. Yeah, going for Russia for the extra cash. I mean, Russia gives you a fair amount of cash anyway, but getting that continent bonus and the cheapest satellites and so on was nowhere near as good an idea as I thought it was going to be. I think doing it again, I'd probably pick one of the Asian countries, maybe Japan or Australia, I don't know, maybe China, but just to get the 25% discount on Foundry projects, because the cash obviously is phenomenal, but also the sheer amount of alloys, fragments and so on, a lot of these cost as you get into the end game, it's incredible. And the Asian continent bonus reduces all this by 25%, so I think I'd really prefer to lock that in. Obviously you want to lock in North America for the cheaper, what's called air superiority. Obviously you want that locked in, but really be much better off getting the Asian bonus than the European one. So that's something I should definitely do differently. I don't think there's really much else. So didn't get much progress on the primary objective, the actual storyline quest, but then again that always takes a long time to do. In the long run, Australia, I'm surprised, is still part of the XCOM project, because it has a satellite. It's only got a 50% chance of leaving, no matter how high its panic is, but I really thought they were going to withdraw. But yeah, I think focusing on the Asian continent bonus and then moving into the States and forgetting about this. I mean, it's possible if I start in Asia, there's always a chance that the aliens might establish their initial base there, which locks that out, but, shit happens.
I think the engineering team is getting antsy. They might be more excited about the new weapons than our troops are.
Oh, I very much doubt that, Brad. But yeah, I think I shall leave it here. Obviously, I'll save the game, come back to it, maybe finish it off. I certainly don't think this game's unwinnable. I don't think my mistakes have been so bad as to make it, I'll never do the final Temple ship assault. But I would like to start again, maybe actually switch Red Fog on, because that seems like an interesting... Now it applies to the aliens as well as the humans. It was really shitty in XCOM 2012, because all it did was fuck you up, or providing no bonus, but now it's a sword that cuts both ways. It could be interesting. So yeah, thank you very much for watching.